Alright, so you want to learn how to op. I was able to hit Diamond 1 with 180 ping all the time, and using the op has become so impactful in many of my games. Alright, so like most things in life, if you want to get good at it, you gotta practice. And not only that, you need good practice. If your practice is really bad quality, then you can't expect the result to be high quality. So I'll be showing you guys some practical techniques that you can implement right now. You will see improvements the more you do it, and obviously the longer you do it. Alright, so we're gonna hop straight into the first technique, right? You're gonna go to the range, use chamber, press F2 and activate easy mode. And the goal here is to aim and shoot. Doesn't have to be fast, just aim and shoot. You have to get comfortable with this first before moving on to the next steps, such as flicking and quick scoping. So you want to go down to the basics, just aim and shoot. Alright, so once you get comfortable with that, then we can move on to step 2, which is flicking. Okay, so flicking is basically aiming and shooting just at a faster pace. So look at this. It's essentially the same thing as aiming and shooting. You're just doing it really fast. And the reason why you want to learn how to flick is because imagine this. You're going against the Rays who just ulted and they satcheled up in the air. They're currently in the air. Most of the time, you do not have time to aim and shoot. It's far too slow. You're gonna wanna flick really fast to the Rays, killing him before he shoots out his rocket, so you and your team don't die. Now the same thing also applies to Jet. If she updrafts in the air, you can kill her before she kills you. Most of the time, you're going to want to aim and shoot. You're not going to want to flick because the chances of you missing is increased if you try to flick. But if you just aim and shoot, the chances of you missing is lower. So you don't want to rely on flicking, but in some situations, it can definitely save you. If easy bots become way too easy for you, then you could just move on to medium, which will give you a little bit more of a challenge, and then after that, obviously hard. I still stick to medium just because hard is like too fast, so medium is that sweet spot for me. But yeah, I usually do this maybe 2 or 3 times. After that, I just move on to the next technique. Alright, so the next technique is learning how to stop. This is very important, learning how to stop your movement before shooting a shot. Because in Valorant, if you're trying to shoot while moving, your bullets become inaccurate. Therefore, you're just gonna miss most of the time. Unless you're really close to the opponent and you're using a rifle or an SMG, otherwise, or a shotgun. Otherwise, you do not want to run and gun with an op. So in actual game, you're not gonna be standing still most of the time. You're gonna want to move to stay safe. Right, so learning how to move and stopping and then shooting is very important. Now you can practice this by again using the easy or medium bots, and after you eliminate one target, you move, and then when another target pops up, you stop, you shoot, and then you repeat the process. You move, so you move, you stop, you shoot, you move, you stop, you shoot, you move, you stop, you shoot. That's basically how to stop. So you don't have to practice this every day unless you're new to the game, because eventually you'll realize that it just became muscle memory and you don't have to practice it anymore. So yeah, learning how to move, stop, and shoot is very important. The next technique I want to show you guys is positioning. Now positioning is very important. Positioning has a lot to do with game sense. Alright, so you could be at a great spot in the map, but in certain situations, that could be the worst spot to be at. Let's say you're over here at Ascent. Most of the time, this is a good spot to be at if you're opping, if you're holding an angle. However, if you know that mid is compromised and there's enemies behind you in your spawn, all of a sudden your back is exposed and it's not protected. Therefore, that's not a good position. A better position to be at would be, let's say, back sight. Therefore, your back is protected and you're watching the front, right? They could be going over here on the left, or they could be going over here on the right. Or you could just push spawn and try to defend that. So positioning is very important if you're opping. You don't want to be just anywhere. You want to be in a position where you don't have to hold too many angles. Most of the time, most preferably, you want to be holding one angle and hoping that they come from that one angle, right? So if you can position yourself with that in mind, then that would be great, but it depends on the map. Alright, so if you're on defense, basically you're just gonna want to hold angles. But if you're on attack and you have an op, then the goal is to get sight, helping your team from the back, then after, hold sight with the op. You don't really want to entry sight first with an op. I mean, you can, but it's definitely harder to entry with an op than a rifle, let's say. Now, another fun technique is no-scoping. Now, no-scoping isn't completely throwing because in some situations, you don't have time to scope, aim, and shoot. It's too long. Sometimes opponents just pop up in your face out of nowhere. And if you have an op equipped, the best thing you can do if they're all up in your face is to just no-scope them. Quick scoping could get you killed in that situation. No scoping is a higher chance of you surviving. Or you could just buy a secondary, a shorty, and use it like so. For instance, watch this deathmatch. I was completely off guard, but I reacted quickly and I no scoped him and I got him somehow. If I quick scoped, I would have died. Look at my health. Alright, so that's all I have for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want. And currently 0% of you guys are subscribed. I mean, this is my first video. And let me know what you guys want to see next. God bless.